That was the worst officiated game I've ever seen. There have been games I complained about the refs, but let's put today into context. So, first of all, Ben strips the ball cleanly. I want to reiterate that. These refs actually went to the camera, to the video replay. First of all, because it was a challenge on the obvious, blanded, moving screen by Marcus Morris. So two things. Number one, Ben stripped the ball cleanly. Number two, Marcus Morris committed the offensive foul. His hip was clearly out there. But instead of keeping the call on the floor, which was the blanded, obvious offensive foul, somehow we get the foul on Ben Simmons that I just explained to you 5 seconds ago doesn't exist. What on the living fuck? So, I don't like that Dwight Howard got himself ejected, but the dude spoke for me. This is atrocious, Adam Silver. This is atrocious. You need to fix this officiating problem. It's getting ridiculous. I'm actually making this video before the game is over. Why? I got triggered by the call that got Ben Simmons fouled out of the game. Ben Simmons said a legal screen. He's not moving. He's not moving. Legal contact. He's stationary. And the ref calls the offensive foul. I made mention of this in the review of the Boston Celtics game, a couple months back. Remember when Joe Embiid got called for an offensive foul? That wasn't an offensive foul. This is the same shit. What is this? And then these refs act as though we fans don't see this. We see it. And we know enough about your rule book to tell you that it's bullshit. If a guy is stationary on the screen, that's a legal screen. What the fuck are you doing? You can't TV up so I can say, what the fuck are you doing? Seriously. Now, it's not to say that it's because of the rest that we lost the game. No. We did get beat by the Clippers. And I'll go into that too. But when you have literally a 4-point swing from a referee who decides not only to overturn the call, but to create a new foul out of nowhere, it's fucking bullshit. It's absolutely, it's atrocious. It's fucking ridiculous. And it shouldn't happen. It always black marks the NBA. I would have said the same thing had these type of bad calls happened to the Clippers. This is utterly unacceptable. It's unacceptable to have bad calls in the NBA. Especially when you have a video replay. One thing to make a bad call in real time is another thing to go on a video replay and somehow come up with a worse call than the one initially on the floor. Wow. So with that, we'll go to everything else. Doc Rivers, this is the first time where I hate your rotations. Mike Scott. 1 rebound, 23 minutes. Let me repeat that. 1 rebound, 23 minutes of action. That is embarrassing. Now, I know you're an undersized center, but you can at least shoot, right? 1 for 6, 3-point, you're just standing there. Oh my God! First of all, you wasn't a good backup power forward for you to begin with. That's why you went to the podiums talking about, we want a backup power forward, we want a backup power forward. So the guy who struggled playing backup power forward is now your starting center. What the fuck? Seriously. No, it's not okay. You had this guy here in the G League. He's raw, he's athletic, he's 6'9" with a 7'2" wingspan. If you see this guy, Mike Scott, who quite frankly is not an NBA player anymore, why would you play him? the worst case scenario that Paul Reed struggles. Alright, fine, let's say he struggles. But it's better to play the young kid and know he struggles than to play the 35-year-old who just doesn't have it anymore in the league. He's not an NBA player anymore. I'll say to his face too, even though he'll knock me out. The dude is not an NBA player anymore. Stop playing him at all. I don't care if we're down $1 million backup big men. Don't play Mike Scott at all. He brings nothing to the table. I mean, it isn't even Haterade. 1 rebound, 3 points, couple of fouls, 23 minutes. I could legitimately suit up and sun it for you if you wanted that. I'm not calling myself a good player. I'm saying it's that bad. Stop playing the guy. Seriously. And the Tobias Harris center thing, I kind of want to see it in a sample size where you're not already down 14 points. Dwight Howard, ejection aside. Dwight Howard did his thing, rebounding the ball. He got himself to the line, but it was noticeable that to start the game, you were playing pretty good switchable defense. And you were contesting and rotating. You were getting out there. And once Dwight Howard came into the game, the whole thing changed. And by the way, we all know that Ben Simmons and Dwight Howard lineups suck. So when Dwight Howard comes into the game like this, it obviously was really negative for you. Play Paul Reed so that you can have Mike Scott back up Paul Reed. I would rather have Mike Scott, if you're going to play him this 20 minutes. You can minimize the damage by having him against second stringers. But my mother of Lord, Mike Scott is not an NBA player at all at this point. You literally have nothing to lose. You got zero production out of your centers tonight between Dwight Howard and Mike Scott. Because, yeah, FIFOs and I guess some rebounds and energy, but, it's not like you could stretch the floor and it's not like you could defend stretch bigs either. So it's actually kind of a concern, as you move forward with this. Because I don't know if Dwight Howard can be a number 2 when he's not. See, the thing with the ejection is I agree with you you have bad refereeing, but as a player, you've got to be beyond that. I was listening to the Clipper broadcast because I'm on streaming and stuff. And, the Clipper broadcast was like, how you be a championship team is you rise above technicals, you rise above getting into your emotions and things like that. And I wonder if Dwight Howard, without the veteran savvy of LeBron James, I wonder if that's going to be a thing moving forward. So yeah, I'm pissed off at Doc Rivers on not paying Paul Reed. 2, at the time that I started recording, once I was down like 16, it was, oh my God. So maybe, this is 8 minutes recording. I'll go check it out real quick. I will go check this out real quick. He actually got in a minute and had a personal foul. You can't take anything away from 1 minute. Tyrese Maxey hit a 3-pointer. Here's something of a Sam Matisse fiber watch. He had 2 blocks. 2 for 3, 1 for 1 from 3 in 27 minutes. Whether it's Matisse fiber or whether it's a second first round pick. I mean, would any of these things have held me back from Kyle Lowry? No. None of these things would have held me back from Kyle Lowry. The only thing that'll make this better is if there is a star in draft all season. If a star ends up becoming available, if Bradley Beal ends up saying I want out of Washington, and you somehow win that, even though the Thunder have like 1 billion picks. If you win a true star, then okay. But I would save that. I would have went all in on Kyle Lowry because this is ridiculous. I don't think Matisse Thybulle should ever stop you, ever. When it comes to a trade, yes, he is a solid wing defender off the bench. Would be damn do. I could drop a Matisse Thybulle to second out. That's how I graded him. He's a second out player in the NBA. The guy is marginal. He is not something that, what if his shot ever comes? Even if his shot comes, is he ever going to get it? Is he ever going to be as good as Danny Green? I don't know. Danny Green himself seems like a huge hurdle to climb for Matisse Thybulle, if I'm being fucking real with you right now. I wouldn't have hesitated for a second. You want Matisse Thybulle? Here, go have Matisse Thybulle. Raptor fans themselves would be furious. Giving this guy spot minutes when he gives you no offensive production, and his defense is not that impactful in the game that you lost by 14, shows you this is a marginal fringe player in the NBA. Useful, yeah, but in the context of the kind of scorer that Kyle Lowry might be, I would have pulled the trigger. Personally speaking, I would have pulled the trigger. And the reason I say that is because your guards laid an egg. Since I had the box score up, let's go over that. Excluding Tyrese Maxey, because not like he was in the rotation and everything was complete shit. So, Seth Curry, 3 for 7, 7 points, 2 assists, and one of them is actually pretty nice, but still, only 2 assists. Actually shooting 50% from the field. Same thing with Ben Simmons, 2 assists. You know, Ben Simmons wasn't a big, tall, passer guy. He tried. There were a bunch of the, ticky-tack fouls that I said I disagreed with, but still, 6 turnovers. George Hill cannot come soon enough. I would have preferred Kyle Lowry, yeah, but at least George Hill is the point guard. You can't go on like this. Shake Milton, 1 assist in 20 minutes. What are we watching? We're in the point guard position. What are we watching? We're in the point guard position. What are we watching? It's garbage. You're not getting any playmaking from your ones at all. And it's not like you have some playmaking 2-guard or small forward to make up for that. It's really the kryptonite of this Sixer team. Especially without Joel Embiid. It's truly a kryptonite. There are no 1s or 2s worth a damn. Shea Milton can hoist some things up and some things are going to fall for him, and that's great, but it's not really efficient. My mother of Lord. I absolutely would have done the Kyle Lowry trade for this reason. I hope George Hill can come here and do some things, but is it going to be enough? Because this on-ball production and guard over the last 5 games has been hideous. You won in spite of it, not because of it. Mother of Lord on the offensive end. Oh, your guards are just putrid. Oh. But no, seriously, you're probably going to lose the Denver game. So here's some advice, Doc. You know you're going to lose, and you know that your rotation is really thin right now. Play Paul Reed. You have nothing to lose. Same thing in guard. If Seth Curry isn't going to create anything for you, if Shake Milton is... Oh, actually, let's get to this pet peeve. Why is Tyrese Maxey being made to be a shooting guard? Tyrese Maxey is clearly the best with the ball in his hands, but you have this guy floating to the corner. What even is this? I'm seeing some of the bad Doc Rivers from the Clippers, etc. You're favoring veterans. You're not playing your young players. And if you are playing a young player, Tyrese Maxey, the very few times that you play him off the damn ball. He's a point guard, not a shooting guard. I wish someone on the team was a shooting guard, but I know damn straight that it's not Tyrese Maxey in the shooting guard position. He is a point guard. And yes, by the way, positions matter. If Tyrese Maxey could shoot, he'd be a shooting guard. But he can't shoot, so he is a point guard on the floor. Now, you lose games. We'll end up 1-2 on the road trip, which in my opinion is a success. Don't get me wrong. It's just annoying when bad passing, bad shot selection is what ends up having you lose the game. Now, Joe's going to come back in a couple of days. George Hill is going to come back in a couple of days. And a lot of this will be elevated. But the simple fact that you have a post player in the post of Joel Embiid, and but the simple fact that George Hill, I am convinced, Shake Milton is playing bad basketball right now for the guard position. Steph Curry is playing bad basketball for the guard position. Ben Simmons with another 6 turnover night now because some of these are offensive fouls. These offensive fouls get categorized as a turnover. So it wasn't as if he was throwing the ball everywhere, but still, whether you throw the ball everywhere or whether you get an offensive foul, 6 turnovers. The ones are just a fucking mess right now, and I want George Hill to come in and stabilize this offensive disaster from the point guard spot. Oh! We're back at it again against the Denver Nuggets. Like I said, fully expect the loss, but a 4-2 road trip is a very successful trip. The 4-2 road trip is a very successful trip for the Sixers. We did not... I'm sorry, I was adjusting my slipper. We did not expect a 4-2 trip from this team when Joel Embiid went down. No one expected that. So realistically speaking, this loss is okay. Schedule loss, especially without Embiid. But it doesn't change what happened on the floor and your takeaways from it. Your guard position is such a damn mess that Matisse Thybulle should never be getting in the way of fixing this guard rotation. I'm sorry, Matisse Thybulle's not that good. Repeat after me. Matisse Thybulle's not that good. If there's a team, you know, some people talking on Discord that Matisse Thybulle might be graded for a lottery pick. Do it! Do it! I want Davion Mitchell from the Baylor Bears. Give me a guard, goddammit. This is ugly to watch. It's ugly to watch. It's not inspiring. When you can't create plays off the dribble, I don't care what system you run, you're going to have a tough time scoring with that pitiful excuse of point guard play where you barely got 6 assists on 14 turnovers. Idiot. You're not going to win shit that way. So hopefully George Hill comes here and stabilizes the situation. Because the situation right now is on DEFCON 1,000,000. Your point guard position right now is so totally unplayable. Oh. And stop playing the 35-year-old who needs to be in basketball retirement. Sixer universe. It isn't a rant so much about the loss as it is a rant about the poor production and poor play. That's all. The players suck. And their suckiness is kind of annoying considering they have sucked just as bad for the most part during the road trip. You found ways to win, which is inspiring, but your players is not inspiring. So we're going to be 4-2, and on April 1st, we'll hopefully, maybe, get Joel Embiid back for the Cavalier game. We don't need him back for the Cavalier game, but it would just be nice. It would signal the end of the old month and into the new month, and it would signal, just that this nightmare is over. Because once Joel Embiid comes back, I'll never have to watch Mike Scott play 80 minutes again. Tobias Harris is going to be playing 33-ish minutes tonight. Joel Embiid will get back to his 33-ish minutes tonight. I will never have to see Mike Scott again. And thank goodness for it. I'll never have to see Mike Scott again. because he blows, Doc. He's not a good NBA player at this point. He may have been a good player once upon a time. The time's out here. It's like the Brooklyn Nets signing a bunch of 33-year-old big men, Blake Griffin and Marcus Aldridge. They were like this stock. It would have been stacked in 2010. It would have been the best front court of all time in 2010. In 2021, these guys are literally at the last leg of their career. So yeah, hold off on they're more stacked than everyone else. Actually, a little too stacked. There's too many old big men on the Nets. One of them is going to have to ride the pine. Probably DeAndre Jordan. If Blake Griffin's going to be in the rotation, LaMarcus Aldridge is going to be in the rotation, DeAndre Jordan's not going to be out of there. But in my opinion, both Griffin and DeAndre are probably worse defensively. Both Griffin and LaMarcus are probably worse defensively than DeAndre Jordan. So I don't know what they're doing there. But the same thing we're doing here with Mike Scott. Stop it. At 35. They're over. I can't play anymore. I don't care if the Nets do it, but I care how a lot if we do it. Stop it. He's a scrub. Sick of the universe signing off. Hopefully, another Mike Scott dreadful game makes you pull the trigger. Enough. Oh.